You get pulled over and the cop walks up casually, asks if you've had anything to drink tonight. You say, I just had one, thinking honesty will help. But what you don't realize is that question was not casual. It was step one of a strategy they've used 100 times. And once you've answered, they're already building a case against you. I'm Nana Knight. I'm a criminal defense attorney here in California, and I've sat across from clients who didn't realize how much damage they've done in the first 2 minutes of that stop. And this video walks you through 5 specific tactics police use during DUI stops to get you talking, get you to comply, and get evidence fast. So you know what's coming, how to handle it, and how to protect yourself before things escalate. Here's the goal during a DUI stop. Stay calm, be respectful, and don't volunteer evidence. You do have to provide your license, your registration, and insurance when the police officer requests it. But beyond that, you want fewer words and fewer tests because everything becomes part of the officer's report. Now, let's walk through the 5 common tricks officers use during DUI stops in California and the exact phrases you can use to protect yourself. The first trick is the just being friendly approach. The officer is smiling. There's some small talk, casual questions. How's your night going? Where are you coming from? Are you coming from a party? It feels harmless, and that's the point. Because the more you talk, the more you open up, the more likely you're going to give them details they can use later, like if you mention a bar, a celebration, being tired, happy hour with coworkers, or having just one. So here's the line to memorize. I would rather not answer any questions, or even more simple, I'm going to remain silent. Say it politely, say it once, and don't fill the silence after, because the friendliness is often just the opening move to get you to talk. And that leads directly into trick number 2. Trick number 2 is when the officer says, I smell alcohol. You might hear, I smell alcohol coming from the car. Have you been drinking tonight? And here's why this matters. Once the officer says, they smelled alcohol, they've given themselves a reason to escalate into a DUI investigation. And it becomes their observation versus your explanation. So the mistake people make here is arguing or trying to talk their way out of the situation. I only had one, it was hours ago, or my passenger spilled something. Those statements can still be used against you later. So your move is the same as before. Don't argue, don't explain, and don't admit. I would rather not answer any questions is your response. Stay calm, provide your documents, and stop right there. Now, trick number 3 is sneakier because it happens before you even realize you're being tested. Trick number 3 is the secret field sobriety test. Most people think field sobriety tests start when you step out of the car, but many officers start assessing you immediately upon the first contact. They watch how you hand over documents. They watch your coordination. They watch your eyes, your reactions. They may ask you to do a little mental task like reciting the alphabet or counting backwards, and they'll write down any mistakes as a sign of impairment. They'll watch for and look out for any smell of alcohol emanating from your person. And here's the key point. In California, those roadside field sobriety tests are generally voluntary, even if the officer makes them sound like they're mandatory. So if you're being asked to do a roadside exercise, your line is, Officer, I would like to decline any field sobriety tests. Respectful, firm, one sentence. And then you should stop talking. Now, trick number 4 is the one that catches a lot of people because it feels official. Trick number 4 is pressure to take the handheld roadside breath test, often called the PASS. You'll hear things like, I need you to blow into this little device. Let's just see where you're at. This is just to clear things up. We just want to make sure that you're safe to drive. And here is what most drivers don't get told clearly. So California law says that the PASS is a field sobriety test. And if an officer uses it, they're supposed to tell you that it doesn't replace the post-arrest chemical test and that you have the right to refuse a pass. But there's an important exception. Underage drivers and some probation situations can trigger separate rules and DMV consequences. So if you're 21 or older and not in a special category like DUI probation, a polite refusal is often the cleanest option. Your line is, I respectfully decline the pass test. Now, that part matters, and if you're actually arrested for a DUI in California, implied consent kicks in and you must choose a chemical test, typically a breath or a blood test. Refusing the post-arrest chemical test can carry serious consequences, including license suspension and refusal enhancements when the DA charges you with DUI. Which brings us to the last trick. When officers use implied consent to scare you into doing everything, even the things you don't have to do, this is the trick number 5, and it's called the implied consent scare tactic. It sounds like this. By driving in California, you agree to all testing. If you refuse, your license is going to get suspended. And here's the truth in plain English. Implied consent in California is about the post-arrest chemical test, breath, blood, or sometimes urine, after a lawful DUI arrest. It does not automatically mean you have to answer questions or perform every roadside test before you're arrested. So don't let implied consent language blur the lines. If you're being pressured before an arrest to answer questions or to do tests, your line is, I'm going to remain silent and I decline any tests. And if you're arrested, then yes, you must choose and complete the required chemical test, even while still declining questioning. Okay, so just to recap, let's go over the 5 common tricks during a DUI stop in California. Friendly small talk to get you talking. Say, I would rather not answer any questions. Or number 2, I smell alcohol to escalate the stop. You can say, I would rather not answer any questions. Secret field sobriety test before you even realize it. Say, I decline any field sobriety test. Number 4, pressure to take the handheld roadside pass. Say, I respectfully decline the pass test. And finally, number 5, the implied consent used to scare you into everything. Remember, post-arrest chemical test is required. Pre-arrest roadside tests and questions are a different category. If you found this video helpful, watch our next video, Tricks Police Use on Passengers to Give Up Rights. It's packed with real examples that could protect you or someone you care about from unnecessary trouble. Click it now, and I'll see you over there.